Hi everybody, we're looking here on the NQ. I'm looking to get filled on a limit order, but it is very close down to the lows here, so it looks like I might not get filled. I thought I might get here when it was pushing on up, but it's back down here, so there's still a chance it's pushing up again. When price breaks out of a range, it's very common to see price attempt to fade back in. And so basically these two attempts to reverse are failing, and we're catching that failure. Now price had pushed below, closed way below the EMA, and now we're filled on a basically just a pullback before it reached the range lows here. And so we're getting a test of these highs. We could push on down here very soon. It might take a bit, because it is kind of a sideways area, but basically we're just looking to get in on this push to a new low and basically just get in on the second leg down, because when price made the break to a new low for this downtrend here, it's common to see price make two legs to a new low. So when you get the two attempts to reverse and it fails, that's what you're basically looking to get in on, is the second leg at a new low. And so there's also this down measured move in play. And so yeah, that's what we're looking at here. Downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. We're getting in on that second attempt. There's still room down to those range lows right here, and that's why I got in with that limit order, even though it had gotten so close there. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, show the whole day. So very sharp drop in the overnight session before we got this break, which ended up going into this big uptrend. You can see here we got this two-legged break, push up to a new high, and then a very sharp reversal down, which is what we're looking to get in on right here, because the downtrend from that reversal has a break, and again we're getting in on the second leg to a new low. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic here, and I'm just going to let you enjoy this trade, and I'll see y'all later. Okay, and we are out. So let me just zoom out here. So yeah, again, downtrend has a break, first attempt lower, two-legged correction, great bearish reaction, and we're looking to get in on that second attempt lower. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed that trade. I think I'm going to hop over to the ES and I'm going to make a chart review just like normal. And yeah, so we have the overnight highs up here, overnight lows down here. These are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right around here. And so obviously, as you can see, we had a very huge push lower in the overnight session. This was the trend for the last few days. And then price just went into a huge spike down. And when price pushes down here, and it's all in the overnight session, so I wasn't trading it, but in this moment you would just be looking to get along with the trend. But then suddenly we got a very slight overshoot, which was enough to push price into a break, and price pushed up, and it was pretty choppy on the way up here, but you can see that this is all one leg on a bigger picture. Obviously you have a leg here and another leg there, and you can see there's two legs up there almost measured before you got that correction. And so it's important to see price action, see the different levels of price action, how you have two legs here, but on a bigger picture it's just one leg, and on an even bigger picture this is just one leg. And so it's important to see that stuff. And so when price starts pushing up here, this is an opportunity for a good failed second entry, even though price had a very huge push down here. If you get a relative in size push up break and two attempts at a new low, you can look to get long on a new low failure. And in this case here, we don't get a clear entry for that, because when we push up, you can see, yeah, there's a second entry long right there, and there's so technically two legs down, but those are way too small compared to the size of this enormous push down here. So that's why I was saying, you want to see a push up and a couple legs down relative in size. That way it's on the same price action level. You know what I'm saying? So when price pushes up here and you get these two small pushes down here, relative to this trend here, all this is a break and one push down. You see what I'm saying? So these two little legs down here are not on the same price action level as this one leg down. And so I hope you see what I'm saying here. And that's why we don't go long there, even though in this case here it pushes up. We don't know that. It's too risky to buy that after a huge push down. We want to see two clear legs. So anyway, price pushes up here. We make that higher low. It continues higher. It's a little bit sideways right there, but we push on up, and then we get, we reach the end of this leg. No real opportunities to go long on the way up. I mean, there is a second entry long right there, but if you know the way that I trade, then this is a little bit too small picture given the huge bear push down that we just had. I would just want to see something a little more clear, bigger picture, or at least just wait for it to get more bullish overall before taking smaller second entries like that. And so anyway, we push up here. Like I said, we had those two legs up, which led to this reversal attempt, and that reversal attempt just becomes the break between this, these two bigger legs up. And when price starts pushing up here, this is another opportunity for a long. If price pushes up, we get a couple legs back. We can look to get long on a failed second entry to make that second leg up. And in this case here, it just continues on up without forming that. We push up, it starts to go sideways. And as it starts to go sideways here, we can look to get long if we get a good second entry with a good hold. But what ends up happening is we start going sideways right here, and then we can look to extend it when price breaks out of it right there. But overall, even though we have these two legs down here, we are entering at this point into those highs, and especially if they're still down here, you're right into them. So whether you're playing the highs there or there, which really I believe you need to play them here until you get two breakouts, but either way, you're entering right into those highs, and we don't have a very significant push down. We have these two small pushes down, but at the overall, we have these two legs up right here. So considering the bearish push down and the two big legs up, nearing the highs of this uptrend that's forming, there's many reasons to, for price to go down here. And so that's why I would want to see a clear second entry with a good hold with room, because it could just tick higher here and then just push on down and make a second larger leg down. And so that's why I didn't like going long there, but it does end up pushing higher. But then here we get another opportunity. We get a much clearer entry. So price pushes past this resistance level. We reach the, this right here. Notice overall, eventually that becomes the new highs. But with this channel here, we're still missing those highs. At this point, it's nearing those highs, but you can kind of see we're going into more of a, it's sort of losing steam, but just barely. And so price pushes down here. We get this first leg down. At first, what you would be drawing is this leg and then a second leg. So first leg down, break, second leg down. But what we end up getting is these two smaller legs. And I can see this wick right here, and it really actually did get close to that measured move with the wick. but the bodies are bigger picture. The bodies, they're more significant than the wicks, and clearly, you know, we got a second entry right here, and you do have to ignore the wick in this case. Sometimes you do see stuff like that. And, when you're taking larger trades, minimum 1-to-1 risk to reward, you do need to consider stuff like that more often. The bodies, the opens and the closes are more significant than just the wicks. And so what we have here is a downtrend, break, and you can see first attempt down and then second attempt down. Measured right there, push above the, this resistance right here, this high, this range high. And I like riding this to this previous high, swing high right here. And it does get pretty choppy on the push up here, but that's what we have. So uptrend, break, push up to a new high. This uptrend is considered played out at this point, but then we make these couple small attempts down, not enough to go long off of, but that does push price higher, and that shows us price is continuing bullish. Price wants to reach this magnet up here, this measured move, and price is overall staying bullish after that push off the overnight low. And so anyway, the downtrend has a break, 2 attempts at a new low, failure entry pushing above this support right here, just riding it to that previous swing high. And anyway, so it chops around, it does reach that high right here. It starts to get very, very, very choppy here, and we're clearly going up along this other trend line as well. And then price breaks out of these highs, and then we get these 2 pushes down. Now, when price breaks this trend line right here, you can see we have uptrend, break. When an uptrend gets a break, we can expect prices to attempt a new high. We still have to consider we have this major push down in play. This uptrend basically consists of 2 legs up, so this uptrend basically is the 2-legged break from this downtrend at this point here. And so when price starts pushing lower, we have to think, okay, price or the bears want to make a new low for that downtrend, but the bulls want to make a new high for this uptrend. So we have to wait for there to be confluence between this downtrend and this uptrend. And so what happens is price breaks, we get these 2 pushes up here, and so this uptrend has a break and 2 attempts at a new high with a good bearish reaction. And on the flip side of the count, just to be clear, we have first entry long, second entry long, failure, and that goes well with pushing to a new low for that downtrend. So we have confluence at this point. It's not like we're expecting a full-on second leg down at this point. It's not like we're saying this uptrend is not going to make a new high. We're just expecting it to reach the other side of the structure that it's already in, now that it's already firing off on the failure. And so price pushes lower here. As you can see, this was a slight limit order trade because, we had these lows here, and given the area that we were in, like I said, it was, the bears wanted to make a new low and the bulls wanted to make a new high. And we got a good opportunity for a failure, but I wasn't expecting it to make a full-on reversal here. So that's why the target is still within these lows, because for all I know, it could have just bounced up straight from there. I wasn't necessarily expecting it to just continue on down here and reach this measured move even. If I had been, then I would have, gone 1 to 2, pushed my target down to there. But in this case here, it was a competition zone, so, we got in on the failure, but we played it safe, kept our target within that structure. So anyway, we push on lower here, price reaches this measured move. Now we are in this downtrend right here. You can see I have this area circled. This does look good to attempt to get in on with a limit order. In this case here, I was a little bit late to it. I tried, but, I was too late anyway. So basically, even though price is just barely breaking this downtrend here, we do have to consider the bigger picture. This measured move was met. We're getting a good bullish reaction, and if price is pushing through here, we can look to make the new high for this uptrend, and it's also off of these lows right here, so we're playing this range here. And this looks good to get in with a limit order and ride to the other side, but in this case here, I just wasn't able to get in. So we push on up, we reach these highs, we get this little reaction before pushing on through. And after we push through, this uptrend has a new high at this point. So uptrend, break, new high, a chance that we could get a reversal attempt and fade back down. But one important thing to know is when we break out of a high like this, a range high, we want to wait for 2 attempts to fade. And so if we get 2 attempts to fade, that way we're entering on a fade failure, and because we don't want to just buy the breakout. On those 2 attempts to fade, that would also be the 2 attempts to reverse from the uptrend playing out. So we'd have confluence with that. and then we could look to get long on the high of this range high here. And so, in this case here, we just don't get that. It continues on up without making that second leg down. Goes into this range right here. It gets, pretty choppy. We break out, retest. It's kind of a conflicted area here because we're retesting the, this range high, but we're also, there's also bears looking to get short on the retest of this right here. And so, anyway, we push on lower here, and we get a sharp fade. We fade into this, range right here that we've got and push straight down to the lows. So at this point, we have downtrend, break. When a downtrend gets a break, we can expect prices to attempt a new low. Now, in this current moment here, what we have is the bears want to make a new low, and the bulls want to hold off of these lows right here. So we have to wait and see, and we have to stick with what price does. Now, in this case here, we do get 2 attempts higher, so basically, a second entry off of these lows here. And so technically, that would mean we have our 2 attempts up, and we can look to get short with the downtrend here. The only problem for me is these 2 legs are very thin, and it got way above the EMA. I was not confident in it pushing on down here. I was thinking this could be an area we just get trapped in. If we had gotten 2 much clearer legs up with a larger separation, maybe even just a 2-legged separation, then we could have gotten a short. I don't like how price got so above the EMA here, because what that's telling me is that this triple bottom is taking off. And so I'm not wanting to go short right here. Especially with this uptrend just having a break, we could get a bigger picture leg to a new high. So I avoided going short here. It's just not worth it. We push on lower, we break out, and now that we've broken out, price, we could get an attempt to fade. And so you can see here, we go all sideways. You can kind of see it from this low. We have first attempt up, second attempt up. It's a 2-legged move. It is a bit hard to see because it's so sideways here, but from that low, we have first leg up. You can see there's a 2-legged correction before the second leg. But overall, it's too choppy for me. For this short right here, I would have wanted to see 2 clear legs, not an iffy 2-legged move where it could just be chop and then a breakout, you know what I mean? Because it could just count as 1 leg. It's too iffy, especially because this is the first leg breaking this wider structure here, this downtrend. And so I did not like going short there. I just wanted to see a clear 2-legged retest, not a very sharp bullish, double, or basically triple bottom before it made a retest. So anyway, I did not like going short there. Push on lower here, get another retest before pushing on higher. And then we get this first leg up, fading, break, a second leg up. Notice that price made this failed second entry on the way up here. This was a little bit too clear to enter into it right there because you draw it off that high, it reacts right there, it reacts right there. Off the lows, we have first entry short, second entry short, failure. That's a failed second entry right there, closing back in. But I don't want to enter into that trend line. And in this case here, it cuts on through, and it does push up to that measured move before making another 2-legged reversal attempt before pushing higher. And so, just wanted to go over that here. We're kind of going into a range. I wasn't really paying attention to this area for the last several minutes. But, we're going into this range right here. We're obviously in this range, but clearly price is chopping in this area now, so we're going to see how price reacts. It looks like the high of this range is basically just the midline of the range we've got going here. So we'll see. Price might push lower here and basically fade back into this range and then possibly give a short on a retest on the low of this right here, and then just ride it down to these lows. But we'll see. We just got to stick with what price does. It could push on out, and then if we get 2 legs down, retesting the this right here, we could get long on a retest of that. So we'll see what price does. This uptrend has a 2-legged break. Price is still pushing on up to a new high. So, if we do push on out here, then I would like to get in on that new high. So, like I said, a 2-legged retest of that range high would be nice to see. So anyway, I'm going to hop over to the NQ, and I'm going to go over that. So here's what we've got. We have the overnight high here, overnight low down here. We're going into this range. As you can see, this is the overnight range. And price pushes up here. We get this leg up, break, push up to a new high. So this uptrend is played out at that point. And once again, I started trading at 8 Central Time, this area right here. And so right as I started trading, that's right before we got that push up to a new high. And when price makes this new high, this, since it's played out, we could get a reversal in this area. And so if price pushes below the EMA, this is a good spot to see a good push below and then a couple legs back, making a failed second entry. But as you can see, price does not make that. We end up holding on the EMA here. And it got, it pushed way below. It didn't have a good hold at first. Obviously, it had a good, a really good bullish bar here. But considering how small these two legs down were, it's coming off this channel high. I would want to see a clear hold above the EMA without it closing so far below. And so I did not like going long there. I don't like going long on this right here because it's just getting choppy. And, you can see it works here, but you don't know that it's going to do that. And when it pushes up here, we have this new high. I would want to see a clear second entry. And what we end up getting is, you can see two legs down, and then it has a very bearish close below the EMA and also this right here. And so, it's just an iffy area. I avoided it. Obviously it's also not that big of a second leg down. It's all kind of just, this quick move down. And so it's just an iffy area. And then we get this higher low here, but it's getting so choppy. It's just sideways. It's not a clear separation. We basically just made this new high and then really just kind of we're going sideways. So I did not like that there. Again, higher low, basically just a first entry. And then on this right here, you can see it's starting to make that second entry with that red bar there, but it's not big picture enough. It's too small picture for me. And so, it takes off without us again. It's moving up in this, clear uptrend here, but we do need to see, second entries. We need to see these are clear entries that we take. We don't want to see a new high and then just a first entry and then a very choppy higher low right there. So again, we push up, choppy higher low. I just avoided all of that. And because you don't know that it's going to be the end of the trend or not. It could just, tick higher right here and push on down. But it does push up here, and then we finally get a clear break from that trend. So uptrend break. It was also the break of this wider uptrend here. We start making that new high attempt, but then very quickly price pushes lower and goes past that swing. And when price does that, it becomes a two-legged break. So the uptrend has a two-legged break at that point. We can still expect price to attempt a new high. And as you can see here, when price pushes on up, you can see we made this swing here. I did not enter immediately because these lows weren't confirmed at this point. It was making a double bottom, but these range lows weren't here. They weren't, it's not a confirmed range. And so when price pushes up here and gets a nice bullish reaction, it is tempting, but I wanted more confirmation just because it was really, I wasn't really entering off of anything. This wider trend at this point, it had just broken this level right here. And so I was wanting more confirmation, and so that's why I waited for, as you can see, the entry above the swing. Price made the swing here, and then I waited for basically the shorts who entered there to get stopped out, entering above that, and also took into consideration this trend line right here, how it was moving down. Just wanted to keep it within it. It worked out great for 1-to-1 right in this area here, for entering above that swing. And so yeah, price pushes up here, target right at that trend line, and then it does get a little bit sideways there, but it does ultimately push on through, and it makes the new high for this wider uptrend. So this uptrend had a two-legged break, and now we've got to push up to a new high, and it's considered played out at this point. And so now that we've broken out of this range here, we could get two attempts to fade, and if we get two, and also because since the uptrend is played out, a reversal attempt is likely. In order to get long, we really need to see two legs down, because it would not only be the two attempts to fade, it would also be the two attempts to reverse for the uptrend, and it would basically make it safe to go long, because again, the uptrend is played out at this point. So two attempts to reverse means we could get long on a reversal failure. So anyway, price ended up just going into this range right here. After breaking out, you can see there's two legs down right there, but we don't get a clear signal bar or any type of good entry here. It really just takes off all at once with this one bar here. It goes straight to that swing and continues going sideways in this range here. So anyway, price breaks on out here. It breaks out of this range, makes a retest, and starts to fade the larger range here. So the uptrend played out with a break to a new high, broke out of this range, and now we're getting a reversal on down. But we do have to consider this uptrend that we've got forming. So we don't want to go short directly into it, even if we had made a great reversal pattern holding under the the overnight, or excuse me, not the overnight high, the range high here, um, then we still would not be able to go short because it's right into it there. So we would want to see price break out of that. Even if it met this measured move and then makes two clear legs up, we could still get a great reversal pattern. But in this case here, price ends up pushing on down. We make this triple bottom right here. And I wanted to get long on it because, it's a triple bottom. We had a good reaction. I actually used a limit order. I did not enter right above this bar. I waited for it to push up, and then I got in with a limit order after this bar closed out. I entered above a little bit just because I entered multiple more ticks above this bar than I needed. The idea was just to put the limit order at around the stop entry, and just entered fast, and wasn't that focused. It's a little higher than it needs to be, and that did result in not getting filled on the target. Now ultimately this was not the greatest trade because now yes, this uptrend did have a break and we could look to get a new high, but I really should have waited on a much better clear two-legged break. This is just a sharp push down and basically entering right as it broke this downtrend right here. So when this downtrend gets a break, we can expect price to attempt a new low. And now, yeah, I was looking to get long on this, range low right here. However, it was directly competing against this uptrend playing out. I was kind of thinking uptrend break, looking to make a new high while also holding on this range low. But one thing that kind of blanked my mind when I was doing this was this uptrend did just play out. This is an active reversal. It's not a clear two legs. Yeah, there's two legs there, but it's still one on a bigger picture. And I should have definitely waited on more either confirmation above the EMA, or in order to enter like this, I should have just, only done it if I had a much nicer two legs down and also a measured move down to this level here. So, I definitely made a couple mistakes here. But that's just a part of trading. This will happen every now and then. You can't let it get to you. And, especially when it comes that close, that can be really annoying. It was annoying in the moment, obviously, but it ultimately, it really does not matter. It's all I can say is it's good to understand trader psychology and just really, you can't let this stuff get to you. So anyway, we push on lower here, we break out of these lows, and when price breaks out here, we can expect an attempt to fade back in. So now we have a much clearer two legs down because we have this push down, break, second leg down, the downtrend is played out, and, again, we can expect price to attempt to fade back up here. And that's what we get. We get our first attempt up, second attempt up. At first I had my range more like this. I've extended it a little bit since, but, at first it was like this. Price broke out. We have these two legs up here. It's off this trend line right here. It was actually like, borderline because, if it's off that right there, it's barely not. But really, I just like seeing these two legs up here. We get a good bearish reaction. And, I'm just looking to continue with the breakout because we have our two attempts at that point. And not only that, we're also fading this range that we've already started forming here. And it's going along with the overall reversal from this trend playing out. And also, of course, to make this second large leg down. So, anyway, that's why I like that short here. We push on lower here. As soon as it reached these lows here, it did reverse on higher. We broke this wider downtrend that we've got forming, and then price starts pushing on down to a new low. We get a couple legs back. You can see here, this downtrend has a break, push to a new low, it's played out, and then we get our two attempts to reverse, but we get a good hold. And in this case here, I waited for this bar here because, I didn't want to enter above the EMA just because the downtrend did play out, and it got a great push above the EMA. So that's why I waited for this right here. Price ends up pushing on back here, barely did not reach the would-be target at the time, filled me, and then pushed on down to the target, which I don't even know why I'm re-explaining all that. This is all in the same video already. But anyway, so we have these couple pushes down here, and notice what these two pushes down are. They're the bigger picture one leg down for this overall two-legged move to a new low. So downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower with a great reversal right at that measured move. So it's very important to understand measured move levels. It's important to understand price action getting bigger picture. It's important to understand, combining different structures together, like, and also context. So like with this uptrend playing out, I should have considered that with this right here, because there was an active reversal from a trend playing out. And especially with this huge push down, with that reversal being in play, this was a mistake. So anyway, just wanted to go over that. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all later.